Do 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 do. All right. Oh. I just need to rest for a minute. If that's all right. I could wear the lights like the whole show, I suppose. I sat up here like this. I could even maybe almost get comfortable. Anyway, I am kind of going on faith that this clippy mic is working. I'm also not sure if that's the best place for it. It may be that that's better. And yeah, I think we're all going to come to enjoy this earliest part of the show where I fuck with the mic and just basically try to get my shit together, which really should be done before I go on the air. This is the mic I did not have the balls to try 3 hours ago when I first started teaching English in China. Actually, today was my light day. I really only started an hour ago. Okay. Although I love these lights very much. In fact, I do want them kind of in the background or something. Can we do this? We can do like this. Like this. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I have an obsession with these lights, though. There is no doubt about it. So, okay, of all of the mics I think I've used, I kind of am getting the quick sense that this is my favorite one. What is, oh. It's the thing of my mug here. All right, a lot to talk about. I kind of don't want to say any of it, but yeah, I know people say I'm not supposed to worry about how I look, but I hate how I look right now. I just feel like, ugh. I don't know. If Michael Goodrich can get away with looking cadaverish, so can I. That's something somebody once said about him. I thought it was really mean at the time. And then I'm like, well, he is very pale and very skinny. And, you know, people are mean when you're on TV. I never found that out directly too much, but like, so tonight was the worst pain night I've ever had in my life. Hands down, bar none. I did not get any sleep because I was just in fucking stitching pain the entire night. I have a couple of different lumps, as I mentioned. They're growing. They're getting bigger and fatter. And this was not a case where I rolled onto them at night or anything. They were just, it was like I described before. Sometimes I just feel like I get hit in the side with a stun gun, just. And it was just like that over and over last night. I tried ice. Ice is the only thing that really seemed to help much. The opiates do not work. And I referenced that before. It's not like that's a new thing. You know, I know that the opiates do nothing but make you kind of just sleep through the pain. Well, that didn't even happen tonight because the pain got so much worse. So I'm struggling with that. And I felt bad about something I guess I said yesterday. I mean, I know I said it, but I didn't really, it came out way wrong. And thank God I have cool friends that call me on that sort of thing. Because I guess it came out wrong. It sounded like I was trying to say that, you know, in order to avoid being hit on by skeevy guys in a skeevy way, women should just not go in public places or something like that. It was completely not what I meant. And I'm horrified that it even came out that way to anybody. Or came off that way to anybody, and I'm obviously very sorry if I, you know, offended anybody in any way. Like, please, from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that I have buttoned my coat in the wrong button. And that's how fucked up I am today. My Chinese English students were like, why is he like that? All right. I had a few things I wanted to say about the thing I said yesterday, just because, like, you know, obviously, not only do I have no idea what it's like to be in a woman's shoes as far as getting hit on by a skeevy guy in a skeevy way, I was realizing, as I was sort of thinking about this show today, I'm like, I don't think I've ever been hit on. Honestly, I don't think anybody has ever, I mean, in a skeevy way or in a nice way. Like, you know, I don't have the experience at all of having somebody come up to me and try and get in my pants or ask for a date or do whatever. What I have experience of, and what I was trying to say yesterday, was referencing my own experience, which is that somehow, and I think the long hair has something to do with it, but I also think that just somehow I look like a guy who does lots of illegal narcotics or something, because something about the homeless guys, the sketchy guys, they all want to talk to me, whether it's at the train station or on the train, whether it's like at the pot dispensary, God forbid. I don't get along with a lot of potheads. I really do not. You know, the origin of my misverbalized thought, God, I have a fucking nose hair that will not leave me alone. Was that, you know, I have no experience being hit on by guys. Even as a gay guy, you know, I've never been hit on, not really. And I certainly have no experience what it's like for, okay, just a sec. There's a goddamn nose hair that is like tickling. And I'm not going to be able to get through this show without eliminating it. What I have experience with in places like public libraries, outdoor free concerts in the park, that kind of shit, the computing commons at the universities is, and I could just itch all goddamn show, is the fucking people who want to come up and talk. Now, they're not trying to hit on me. That's not what I'm saying. But they're, you know, they want a cigarette, or they think I have a cigarette, or they think I have $1 for them, or they think I want to get high with them, or they think I want to buy weed from them, or they think, you know, I don't know what they think, but they all want to talk to me, and I have my fucking shields up, man. Like, I'm seriously, shades, earbuds, you know, you name it. When you see me, this is how I appear, and this is like, get the fuck away from me kind of cBas, right? I do not want to interact with you. I do not want to, you know, I don't use tobacco, so I don't have a goddamn cigarette. And, you know, this is nowhere near being hit on by skeevy guys, but it is being approached in an in a sort of uncomfortable way when I just want to be, you know, left alone, certainly. And I think there's some crossing over here, and I feel like, you know, I wasn't really trying to recommend a course of action, just so much as observe that some places have higher proportions of skeevy people hitting up both sexes. You know, I didn't mean that this is only me or only women or whatever. Like, you know, it's a different thing, but in a way, like, it's kind of the same. I want to be left alone. I'm certainly minding my own business. I certainly have nothing in common with you. I don't want to share your fucking stink breath. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to hear your fucking story. And that's another one. They all start up with, you know, hey man, they especially the ones who want money. They start with the whole, and you know instantaneously what's coming. It's like, you know, when the homeless person coming up, hey, you know, they have just a whole build-up spiel. You know, I was going home to Florida with my aunt, and suddenly the car got a flat tire, and my wife had a baby in the back seat, and you know, it's just like they have this whole story for you, and the reason is they've discovered a psychological phenomenon, which is, this is something I studied actually when I was in school a million years ago, which is If you give a reason for a request, you're just statistically more likely to have the request fulfilled than if you make the request with no reason. I did experiments with this in psychology school, where it's like you're in line, you pick a copy machine, the Xerox copy machine where there's a big long line. And I did this, I actually did this. And you go and you cut in front of everybody in the line with your, psychology clipboard. And here's the 3 conditions, right? You go up and you say, excuse me, I'd like to cut the line. That's the first one. I just want to cut. I just want to come in front of you. Condition 2 is, could I please cut the line because I've got this paper due and it's an emergency and I've really got to get out of here fast. And then number 3 is, excuse me, I've got to cut the line because I've got to make some copies. Aha, right? So the second one is the emergency, please, I need a favor from people, please help me. And the third one is formed like that, like it's disguised as a please help me thing, but the actual thing you are adding on, the reason you ask or needing help is not a good reason, right? We know you need to make some copies. Everybody in this line needs to make some copies. So, and the idea was that the results were just like the results had been before. In other words, we were just confirming previously existing results. Groundbreaking stuff at ASU. And the result was, yeah, if you go up and say, I just like to cut the line, condition 1, they're like, fuck no. Or there are a lot more people are like, fuck no. Condition 2, excuse me, I need to get in here because I've got an emergency and blah, blah, blah. That's like, oh, fuck yes. It's like 85% people say yes. And then condition 3 is the interesting one because that's the one that's weird. You come in and you don't give a real reason or any new information. And then it turns out like not 85, but it's like 81% of people say, go ahead, right? So I'm extrapolating that the homeless people and the skinny people who come into me with their story and their whole spiel about how I was on my way to Memphis and blah, 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 and, my dog ate my money and the baby had a baby in the back seat, and, whatever the hell it is. It's just a whole fucking yarn that they've woven because I think they probably figured out to some degree the psychology thing, which is if you just give some story, and perhaps if it's a really good story or a long, sad story, you're more likely to get the help. I don't know what relevance that had to the blunder I made verbally yesterday, except I'm sorry. And that was the other thing. Topic number 2 is apologizing. I'm amazed how few people are willing to apologize these days. I think apologizing is a strength because the title for this segment originally, when I made the note, what was it? Hold on. Okay. When I made the note note is called, it was here before, now it's gone. No, here it is. And there's an example right there of the title of this section. The title of this section is, I Mess Up Once a Minute. The original title was Apologizing as a Strength, but I'm realizing the reason you have to get used to apologizing, the reason that it's okay to, get good at apologizing is that everybody fucks up. A lot. Nobody's perfect. I mean, that's a cliche. But more importantly, like, it's seen like the Trumpians as a weakness, right? If Donald Trump apologizes for something, or if Obama goes to something, like what, goes to Japan and apologizes for bombing the cities in World War II, the Republicans lose their shit because that's a thing of weakness, right? It's a sign of weakness. And it's like an indicator that we're saying we were wrong or whatever the extension is. It's like, sorry doesn't really necessarily imply much more than just, I'm sorry, Like, I mean, it's like when I hear people tell me about my cancer. People love to talk to me about my cancer. I guess because I won't shut up about it. But, like, the one thing I hear is that people are like, so sorry. I need my lights to be on the air. I'm like, I never quite got that because it's just the thing that is there is left to say, kind of when there's nothing left to say. Like I wish this hadn't happened to you. You know, I wish I could something to make this not be true anymore. I wish I hadn't done it in the first place. Now, I have kind of a certain specific little bullshit issue with apologizing, which is a lot of times when people apologize to me, my thinking, my brain, my kind of temper, full part of my brain goes, yeah, well, if you were really sorry, maybe this wouldn't have happened in the first place, right? Which is stupid because that sort of phases out the possibility of accidents or, kind of assumes everybody has the mens rea, the guilty mind. And it's not true. It's not fair. It's not reasonable to do that. Although I think there's maybe a nugget of truth somewhere in there, which is, we all should try and be a little more conscientious, right? Try not to be a dick. Try not to be an asshole. Try not to just blunder through the world like a bull in a china shop. Try to pay attention. Try to look for the sign before you, interrupt somebody's conversation, right? Or, just try to fucking be aware, and there's a million examples. Unfortunately, they're all really specific to people, and I feel like everybody will know who I'm talking about if I go down that road. But it's like I said something yesterday on Facebook. Now, I was not wrong. I was not wrong because in a way, I'm not going to apologize because I was not wrong. But I am going to apologize for the way I said it because this is go back to that thing about not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, this is I actually screwed both of those up. But I will tell you, I'm infuriated by bullshit and fake news when it is presented as fact. And whether it's, here's the thing, everybody has their little bullshit issue. And if you come out against their little bullshit issue, suddenly you're buying a lie, right? And whether it's something ridiculous like, what was it? There was some place in like the Midwest where there was the story of a few dozen dead radioactive human bodies from Fukushima that were contaminated. Oh, it was Flint. I think it was the dead radioactive bodies from Fukushima, Japan, were the cause of the Flint contamination of water. Now, really? Like, that's so fucking retarded, right? It's so stupid. And yet, there are people watching this now going, ha, look at him. He buys the lie. He's part of the mainstream media. He's part of the conspiracy. And it's like, the next thing I say is going to be pretty dour and like pretty down. But I just want you to know, after I have died, and the time will come, I don't think it's going to be soon. I mean, I'm still kicking. But the time will come when I'm not here anymore, and there's going to be a time when people are like, they miss me and they're sad about me, and cBas would have loved this, cBas would have hated this. And I just know that's going to happen to some degree from some people who love me, and I'm already sorry for that. But please make sure you note when you're doing that about me and remembering me fondly or non-fondly. Please remember that there are certain things I'm not going to miss. Certain bullshit things I'm fucking glad to be away from and gone now, even if it means dead forever. And that includes what we now call fake news, which is, goes back as far as the moon landing hoax conspiracy deal, JFK, to, what was the other one? Well, the more recent one is the Hillary Clinton pizzeria child molestation, whatever the fuck that was. Like, there's people who I thought I respected who were like, do you believe in Pizzagate? And quite clearly implying that they do, and if you don't, then oh, holy shit. And the one that fucking freaked me out was, excuse me a sec. Classy. High fructose corn syrup. Now, I talk about having basically two vices. I had the Red Mountain Dew and marijuana. Now, the marijuana I stopped talking about as a vice because it's more or less my cancer pain medication. They've given me these opiates for the worst pain more recently, but up until now, for this first year or so, all of the pain has pretty much been dealt with by the medical marijuana. Because it's a substance I have years worth of experience with. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know my way around it. You know, I know the strengths, and like I said before, if I'm going to, you know, I can't do the Ambisol pain thing on here. I sort of mentioned it out loud yesterday. What if you just put Ambisol on this place where I'm hurting? Believe me, there is no night like in the world of my history of my life where I wish that would more wish that was true than last night. I was dying to put Ambisol on this fucking lump on my skin, but it wasn't. Ambisol works topically, right? Like it has to touch, and it can't go through the skin. It's not a cream that can absorb. So to put Ambisol on my outer skin would be a waste of Ambisol. But no time in my life, if I wished more, I could have done it. I've had injections, like when I first had one of my surgeries, they gave me a lot of lidocaine. And lidocaine is done with a needle. And it was like 50 little pinpricks around this area that I was having numbed. And first 10 or so really fucking suck. And then like number 29 did too, because they hit a nerve or something. It was like, like it was really bad. This was the one surgery I had that was not like unconscious sleeping surgery, because we didn't know it was cancer yet. But that's how the canes kind of have to work, because they have to be kind of injected. So I can't put the Ambisol on my outer skin. Like I said, the only thing that really helped last night was ice. Even the opiates didn't really stop it. I did take an opiate halfway through this night of severe pain. And, you know, I woke up woozy and, you know, feeling like I'm floating on a cloud. But, and I guess that's the euphoria people talk about. But you know what? I was woozy and floating on a cloud, but still in pain. It didn't stop the pain. I'm just sort of, and it's like, if I want to get I know that. Like, I've been doing that since I got to college, and it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper and a lot less addictive and a lot, I mean, you know the opiates have these constipation consequences? I actually did not know that. People who take opiates, and I guess I did know that because there is a drug on TV some people talk about where, I think Bill Maher talked about it, where the opiates thing is so bad that you have to have a second drug to give you special stool softening while you're on the opiates. It's like, you know, this is kind of compounding and, you know, gaining momentum. And I have experienced a little bit of the constipation since I've had to start taking this extra pain medicine, and I hate it. You know, it's really sucky. So I'm trying to not take pain medication, but the result is, and I'm in pain all night. And then I take one, and then I'm in pain, but it doesn't really help. You know, it's like I'm still in pain, even though I'm feeling woozy and euphoric and stupid. So, I don't know. It was a shitty night. Thesis 1. Thesis 2, I mess up once a minute. That's the other sort of thing I'm returning to, in some way or other. And apologizing is a strength. Those two go together, because I mess up once a minute, so I knew a million years ago I had to get good at saying, look, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. If I can make an amend, I will, no doubt. But, you know, it's not always possible. And sometimes all there is to be sorry and just tell someone you're sorry. And I don't think it makes you weak. If you noticed, I don't think I did it on camera yesterday, but I was talking about this, my thing of tungsten, or wolfram, if you prefer. It's a very heavy little metal block, completely kind of, you know, smooth, and very, very heavy. Like, you know, it's very hefty. It's got a lot of mass to it. At some point, I dropped it, and I was talking about how you don't want to drop it on your lap or on your foot, because it will injure you. It will slice you open like a razor blade. It's extremely sharp. It's completely indelible. You know, nothing will dent it or scratch it. Dent and scratch everything it comes in contact with. I dropped it. I had my little keyboard here propped up kind of against the bookshelf, and look what happened. It chipped the equal key, just the corner there. It was like, shing! It just sliced it right off like a sword falling. So yeah, this thing is like a fucking weapon here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I don't know. I I feel like I blabbed a lot. I feel like I said I was sorry. I'm glad and I'll say I'm sorry a million more times. Like, you know, I want everybody to understand. When I say I'm sorry, I honestly mean it. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm honestly, you know, willing to give, you know, I want to give good apologies too. Like, I want to give good, specific, heartfelt apologies that mean something and that express that I will try to not let it happen in the future. You know, I'll make an amend now if I can, all this stuff. And I feel like everybody should get used to that. What the fuck is the problem with saying you're sorry? I'm looking at other notes and stuff I wanted to. I am now using Cortana. I'm not supposed to say her name unless I'm talking to her. It's like the Siri of the Microsoft world. And I was talking about bullshit issues before. And I don't think privacy is a bullshit issue, but I think some people are making the voice assistant, you know, anytime there's a new technology, certain people have a problem with it, right? And I saw this one article today about how the voice assistants, not Cortana in specific, but, you know, Siri, Cortana, Alexa, are, you know, always listening. They're always collecting information and none of it gets deleted. And how do you know? Blah, blah, blah. And it's that kind of conspiracy tone that is absolutely infuriating to me, because the article that I freaked out about on Facebook was they are trying to rename high fructose corn syrup as just natural sweetener. They don't want it to be called high fructose corn syrup or HFCS. They want it to be called natural sweetener. Now, I did a search instantly then when I saw that article, because the article was posted from a website that's one of those conspiracy bullshit websites. And it was instantly identifiable to me. So I'm like, all right, well, there's your fucking source. Did you get hard confirmation from the Drudge Report? Like, this is some bullshit story. And my friend who posted is like, not bullshit. They've been trying to do this for years. See, you know? And I'm like, you can't say see when you didn't post a real article. Here's an article from the New York Times a few years ago when they actually were trying to rename high fructose corn syrup to corn sugar. They wanted to not have it be specifically syrup. They wanted it to just be another sugar ingredient on the ingredients list. I can see people getting mad about that and not wanting to let it happen. And, you know, if we're going to talk about this, you know, we can debate. So there are people who absolutely are firm in the knowledge that high fructose corn syrup is poison and it is, you know, engineered to have a mind control effect and be addictive and all this other stuff. And it's just like, all right, you did not have 6 years of medical school this morning. You did not have any medical school. You have not had goddamn college level science class from the sound of things. Because if you seriously think that, let's start with the poison. Shouldn't I be dying now if it's poison? Shouldn't I be going through a severe problem right now? Oh, well, what it does is much more insidious. It causes diabetes. Let's do a quick calculation, shall we? The Code Red Mountain Dew began in when I came to the University of Arizona. That would be about 1998. Let's just make it 1990. Let's say, okay, if it were 1998, for 1997, it would be 20 years. So 19 years, all right? Let's see here. Let me do some quick math. How much Mountain Dew have I actually fucking drunk? And still don't have diabetes. Now, everybody's different, so that means absolutely nothing. But, you know, for these unscientific minds going on about how HFCS is fucking cancer-causing poison, that's like patent nonsense. I go through about a 6-pack, well, not a week. I go through like a 12-pack a week. So it's like, what, 12 cans in 6 days or something. And what are the cans? Cans are 12 ounces each? Is that right? 12 ounces times 12 cans in a week is 144. Times 52 weeks in a year. Times 19 years. All right, that is approximately the number of ounces I have drunk. 142,272 ounces of Mountain Dew. Now, no doubt my internal organs are the color of bright red crimson artificialness. John Oliver on HBO is the one who said, oh, this soda does taste of red. It does taste red. And I thought that was a very funny joke. But, you know, it's like you stupid mental defectives who say that McDonald's is poison. or constructed to be addictive, or, you know, I sort of think the same thing about people who think things about companies like Monsanto is evil, or, you know, everybody has kind of their own little specific bullshit thing that they see and only they see clearly. And I mean, me too, by the way. I'm not saying I'm immune from this. I was trying to think of what my bullshit issues are. Like, what bullshit do I believe despite the fact that it's not true? Like, provably not true. And the only one I could really think of is batteries. Like, I feel like batteries are not the end of the world, but I do feel like we use a lot of goddamn batteries. I do. I try to use rechargeables. You know, I work hard to mitigate it, but something in my brain won't let go of batteries. Like, can you throw them away? Can you recycle them in regular recycle? Like, what happens if a whole bunch of these batteries start to leak? I had one. Where's the one that leaked? I was actually like having battery stuff come out of it, and I like, okay, now I don't know what to do with it. Here it is. Like, on one hand, I don't want to throw it away, but on the other hand, like, I don't want to touch it. I don't want it to, like, I don't want it to get anywhere. I want to, like, put it in a Ziploc baggie and send it off to the moon. But then I'll get accused of polluting the moon. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So, I don't know. Like, the other ones I'm thinking of, which are really bullshit issues, like high fructose corn syrup is poison, is, what was it? Fluoride in the water in Oregon, right? The radioactive bodies causing the Flint contamination. You know, and here's the thing: is this guy I used to work with? He used to be kind of my big brother of journalism. Like, I really looked up to the guy, and he had kind of a similar aggressive, you know, alpha male kind of attitude toward going and doing the news, and I liked it. But, you know, he had an issue where I think it was but one of his bullshit issues back in the day was this compact fluorescent twisty light bulbs. I think I have one back there. I think he actually went on the air and said something about if you break a compact fluorescent light bulb at your home, it's like a hazmat level situation, right? It's not like you can just put a wet towel over it and, you know, sort of sop up the mercury. No, suddenly you are contaminated with mercury and you need to go to the doctor and you need to call a hazmat team and you need to call your landlord and you need to evacuate the building. And I mean, it was seriously way, way bullshit. Mercury. And then if you say anything about him not having all the facts, it's like, oh, so, okay, so you don't care about mercury, right? You're on the side of them. Like, there's no middle ground. There's no sort of reasonable thing. And then there's people who'll be like, yeah, but Monsanto is evil, cBas. I'm like, you know, I get that they make products people don't like, but, you know, I think people are evil. I don't really think entities like companies are, you know, maybe the president of Monsanto, maybe the whole fucking board of directors or whatever they got, you know, they make weed killer. Like, for agricultural things. Like, some people think you shouldn't make weed killer. Okay, fine, but that's a very specific, and now we're talking about a very specific weird bullshit thing, because, you know, there's a, or if maybe I should be a little more specific. It's not that it's not a real issue, poisoning or, you know, putting pesticides or whatever, but I don't know. I can't win with this because I feel like no matter what you say, aha, right? Aha, you've revealed. You're in their pocket. They convinced you. They brainwashed you. You drank the Kool-Aid, cBas. I drank the fucking Mountain Dew with the high fructose corn syrup, motherfucker. What I said on the Facebook, and I will just admit this because it's a little extreme, was that I've mellowed. Somebody told me to settle down, and that was what sealed it. Because, you know, I was in the right here. I was not wrong, and now I'm being told to settle down. Not that the guy who posted is being told to fucking admit that he lied or admit that it's a bullshit issue, or just say, hey, prove it. Show one shred. Show one real link that's not a bullshit website. I did. New York Times 9 years ago. Okay, but he didn't want to do that. Didn't say he was sorry. All right, he's not sorry. He's convinced he's getting the truth said despite the conspiracy trying to, you know, stop, despite the man. And I'm like, you know what? If this was 5 years ago, I think we all know by this point in the conversation, I would have paid a fucking homeless man at the Caltrain station $11 and a meatball sub to hold you down and tattoo that fucking website backwards on your ass so you can read it in the fucking mirror. Now, when you say it all in one stretch like that, and I didn't even say it meanly, it does sound a little hefty. And am I sorry? Yeah, I'm sorry. Because I'm not afraid to say I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry for that. And, you know, there will be a time in the future again, many times probably, when my temper will flare up. And when I will say something equally vicious or more vicious. And I will be honestly then, I'm sorry about that in advance, you know. I'm going to try and not let it happen again. But I'm damn skippy. It's going to happen when a person I looked up to as my journalistic big brother suddenly goes online and posts, you know, youranonnews.net about the dangers of, what? Let's make one up. Saccharin, you know? Saccharin's kind of off the thing now. Saccharin's off the dangerous list, right? But people aren't, that's not okay. It's still a chemical. Ooh, chemical sweetener. All right, you don't like that. Splenda. There was a thing about Splenda, and actually, I'm not sure. This may actually be a thing. Because I remember this being an actual news thing. But the sucralose sweetener, I know about all the sweeteners. You know, and I don't think it makes, you know, I don't know. But somebody said that the sucralose was so thin, like it doesn't really fully get filtered out by the kidneys. In other words, it comes out in the urine. And because it comes out in the urine, just kind of integrated with the urine, it's kind of sweetening the world's water, or like, you know, I'm not sure how much is being filtered out by like wastewater treatment and so on, but I remember seeing an article about the Splenda was sweetening the oceans or something like that. I'm like, really? Because the molecule is tiny. Like, did you ever know about like rubbing alcohol? If you mix a cup of rubbing alcohol and a cup of water, you will not get 2 cups of liquid, because the alcohol molecules are like smaller and slip in between the water molecules. If you mix a cup of water and a cup of alcohol, I think you get like a cup and a half of liquid, not 2 cups. Even though it looks like 2 clear liquids, yeah, it doesn't work out because, and that's something I read a long time ago. I don't remember trying it. I think I did try it. I think it's true. But, you know, it's one of those things that's kind of non-intuitive. So it's, you know, and then stuff like that goes by in popular culture, but people are got their dick hard about Splenda or saccharin or high fructose corn syrup, right? Because here's the thing. What are the options? All right, sucralose, poisoning the ocean. Saccharin causes cancer, at least it used to. NutraSweet, which is just, you know, everybody rails against NutraSweet. Okay. Splenda bad, saccharin bad, NutraSweet bad. Sugar bad, regular sugar bad, right? You're just not supposed to need sweetener. You fucking shitty, disgusting troglodytes. You need everything to be sweet. What's wrong with you? All right. I guess everything that has to be sweet is sort of bad, even though, like, it's not. You know, for instance, salt. Let's talk about salt for a second. Salt, we can say, is bad. I think everybody gets too much salt because they've been saying that for, you know, decades and decades. There's already salt in food. You know, blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. There's actual physical things. Alcohol is straight up poison. Like, you drink too much alcohol in one night, it will kill you that night. We're not talking about drinking a lifetime of Code Red Mountain Dew and then getting diabetes, which is bad, but I think it's not as bad as the alcohol poisoning thing that can happen in a single night. But no, none of you lushes are ever going to cop to that. Well, alcohol has health benefits, cBas. You know, it adds longevity, and it prolongs life, and it's like, fucking retards. Like, you know, I get that you like alcohol and you drank the Kool-Aid as far as the alcohol is concerned, but let's not fucking lie. Let's, you know, well, studies have shown, yeah. Don't give me that. The studies, you know, want to talk about fake news? Let's talk about the fake scientific studies for a second that, you know, don't really confirm a goddamn thing, but because they sort of have a funny headline in the press release, or, you know, hey, you know, it's not just alcohol, coffee. You know, there's not tea. What was I going to say? You know, coffee, red wine, certain alcohol, chocolate. You know, chocolate has antioxidants. All right, yeah. as if it's supposed to be our source of chocolate, as if it's a health food, you know? I'm not anti-chocolate. I love chocolate, but don't fucking bullshit yourself saying it's health food. And the same goes through with red wine. Like, don't bullshit yourself. I don't bullshit myself with the Red Mountain Dew, but I'm also 140 pounds at 6 foot tall. So, you know, you're gonna talk to me about obesity and diabetes when I have neither one? Oh, you have cancer. Yeah, well, guess what, motherfucker? That was genetic. I was going to have that no matter what. I've been assured by sarcoma oncologist after sarcoma oncologist now that this is not my fault. I did nothing to cause it, and I could have done nothing to avoid it. So the sugar I drink in my life absolutely did not cause me to get this cancer. The oncologist confirmed it, you know. So on the other hand, I do feel like the pot people kind of overblow the pot benefits, right? There's some, right? If you have chemotherapy and can't keep pills down, you know, smoking or vaporizing now, pot is a good way of getting it into your system, calming the nausea, triggering hunger, you know, triggering an appetite. And, you know, you can't do that with a pill if you're throwing up all the time from chemo. So that's why smoking pot is kind of this way around the stomach, getting it into your system. And the people who are, you know, kind of anti-pot or anti-that, right? Just people are kind of haters gonna hate, I guess, is what the idea being. But, you know, I'm not saying I'm immune to any of it. I'm sorry if, you know, I offended people with the little language that I used, but when you post a bullshit article from obviously, you know, the other articles that were on this website included, let me read it because I just saved it. It was so delicious. This is from the website that my buddy, my old journalistic big brother, said wasn't bullshit. The Illuminati. Barack Obama is not a member of the Illuminati. He is something much, much worse. The new space flights, which are planes that can briefly enter orbit, are not as fun as they seem. They are an Illuminati tool. Denver, Colorado is an evil place. Aliens are a little different than what mainstream teaches us. The information I have is essential. Well, not one I believe in for myself. And it goes on and on. Okay, the first topic to discuss will be these underground bunkers I have mentioned. Currently, there are 57 underground bases and bunkers around the United States that are in use for various purposes. There are 439 bunkers in the entire world. All of these bunkers and bases are controlled and maintained by the Illuminati. The largest underground bunker is in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Fun fact, the bunker has the capability of holding up to 5,000 people for a period of 10 years. I personally have been in this bunker, and it is much larger than anyone can possibly even imagine. The bunker is secured mainly for the events of the end times. This is what's not bullshit. 5,000 of the world's richest, brightest, and most powerful individuals will secure shelter in this bunker in the event of global thermonuclear war, natural disaster, or any other form of global catastrophe. Don't be confused. Several other bunkers have the ability of housing large numbers of people for extended periods of time, but no other bunker, and by the way, now we're getting into the spelling and grammar errors that make this shit really fun, but no other bunkers is as large, as capable as this one. In the event of World War III, all of the world's leaders will take shelter here, and the governments of the world will be theoretical proxy governments. The world's richest people will be here as well. People such as Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the oil tycoons. However, these oil tycoons will be murdered while they are in the bunker so that the takeover of the Middle East will be much easier for the New World Order. Well, of course. I do not know the exact number, but of the 439 bunkers in the world, I would say that around 275 of them are constructed mainly for shelter and extended stays, as opposed to the other ones which are fucking owned by the Sheraton. I would say that blah, 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 blah. I myself stayed in one of these bunkers while in China in the 90s. They are very nice, very luxurious. See, it's a Sheraton. I think he's mixed up. He's practically like you're staying in a 5-star hotel. Oh, and here's the people who have stayed in the bunkers. Trotsky, Abraham Lincoln, Saddam Hussein. Oh, by the way, Lincoln was not murdered by John Wilkes Booth. I mean, okay. website with that is that's one of its like kind of main articles, right? This is one of the websites that people learned about in the 2016 election, which had the fake news that people, even though it's fake, people don't care. And people who do the mental masturbation thing, reposting news stories that reconfirm their view of the world without any facts or evidence being relevant, right? Even if it's a bald-faced lie, it still makes them feel good. It gives them a little mental jack off. And so they post it. That's why my ex-buddy, my old journalistic big brother, is giving himself the mental jack off without a single shred. I mean, even I provided a shred for the New York Times blog from the 2009 or so, when they were talking about corn sugar as the new name. But there's not an article I could find, and I looked and looked for the industry trying to rename it as natural sweetener to get it past us. Sneak it into the ketchup. All right, you sneak an HFTS into the ketchup, and that's going to be the Illuminati thing? I mean, your heads are so far off your ass that, yeah. I mean, and even that's fine. If you want to have your head up your ass, if you want to fucking put your HFCS, in a crack pipe and smoke it, I don't care. You'll do it. But don't come to me and tell me that I shouldn't, or, like that I don't know what's up. Don't you dare fucking come to me and tell me I don't know what's up, because that's what's going to happen, is I'm going to end up paying a homeless guy $13 on a Subway sandwich to tattoo the fucking bullshit website backwards across your ass so you can read it in fucking mirror. I feel like that is just. And by the way, hashtag the rage is justified. Like, and there's moments when, yeah, cBas is patented and off the charts vicious rage actually makes a certain amount of sense. When people who I liked, used to respect, and, suddenly disappointed me patently, and then refused to cop to it, like, just fuck off in so many ways. I'm dying here, right? I'm maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm not going to be around for much longer. And I don't have time. I don't have time to put up with your bullshit, right? And I'm not going to be nice about it. I'm not going to be nice about it. Like, if you're going to put bullshit up and then say it's not bullshit, when I'm going to sit here and read Article 2 on your website, which is about the fucking Illuminati, please. Mental defective at its finest. And I'm not sorry about that. I'm not the keeper of the truth, and I never claimed to be, but I sure as shit know false when I see it. And not false. And, HFC is poison. All right, you don't like it, fine. But I'm damn skippy you're going to be enjoying some alcohol one of these days, and I'm also damn skippy that the alcohol you drink is going to do way more damage to your body, even in small doses, in small, moderate amounts, than the high fructose corn syrup's doing to me. I'm here to fucking tell you. But no, settle down, cBas. Settle down, cBas. Not what you say, it's how you say it. Just be nice. Don't hurt people's species. Doesn't matter if you're right. Doesn't matter if they're, not wrong. All that matters is how you say it. And the problem is when you go on, and I go on in my best masterpiece theater narration voice and say, "Excuse me, Michael, I do believe that you have factually misrepresented a situation where the high fructose corn syrup in question is actually, and technically it is a natural sweetener. I mean, it has been refined, It's kind of like saying crack cocaine is natural because it is a refined form of a plant, like repeatedly refined. But, refined doesn't mean artificial. Not exactly. Like meth is artificial, Like saccharin is artificial. Chemical created in the laboratory. High fructose corn syrup is concentrated. It's not poison. It's not poison. And, and I don't know why I get such a hard on about it, except it's the one vice I have left. Marijuana is now officially medicine. So this soda is, I don't drink alcohol. I don't ask for much. But what will make the people happy? I guess that's where I can't get over it in my mind, right? What would make you happy? If I only drank water? Because the dentist said that to me once. one of these fucking shitbag American dentists I used to go to say, yeah, you need to drink water. And I'm like, okay. Ezekiel, Jebediah, which Mormon, not Mormon sect, which sect of the Pennsylvania, what can I say? Who are the people who ride the buggies? The Amish. Which sect of the Amish are you from, dentist? Ooh. And the other thing is they are trained to say, oh, no matter what soda you tell them, they always ask what soda you drink, and you tell them any soda. And I've done this now a few times. What soda do you drink? Coke? Oh, that's the worst. What soda do you drink? Diet Coke? Oh, that's the worst. What soda do you drink? Dr. Pepper? Oh, it's your program to do that. Now, in the case of the dentist, I even understand the anti-soda thing. Because, and it's not about sweetener at that point, it's about acid. The dentists don't like the acid in the soda because there's all kinds of citric acid for flavoring, especially Mountain Dew. So in that way, the dentist has a valid complaint about the Mountain Dew and has a valid reason to tell me to maybe go easy on it for health reasons. Jackballs on the internet and people who didn't graduate from college have no business talking to me about HFCS. You know, people who didn't complete a single science course. And don't tell me you did, because I'm sitting here looking at what you're saying. I'm like, you are nuh-uh. If you did, if you took a science course, you flunked it because you are out of your goddamn mind. But that's not the scientific method at all. And in fact, it flies in the face of several parts of it. So blow it out your ass. Aliens are a little different than what the mainstream teaches us, though. Interesting. Denver, Colorado is an evil place. Interesting. Shocking. All right. It gets a little ranty at times like this, and I apologize. I didn't sleep a lot. Medication's not doing well with me. And I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go lay down. Thank you for watching. I, again, apologize for the way stuff came out yesterday, as far as my friend's complaint is concerned. But by the way, please comment. If I ever say something that pisses you off or you think I'm wrong, I am not against listening and, discussing it rationally. Have your shit with you. Don't just claim bullshit and then say I'm buying the lie. Show your goddamn work. If you want to do Google searches together for news articles and science journals that will back up a point of view or another, we will do it together. Say it. I'm down for that challenge. And there's nothing I enjoy more, actually, than looking for whether stuff is true or not. And not on Wikipedia. Looking real searching. And by the way, do that search. High fructose corn syrup is being converted into natural sweetener. Do that search. I did it. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.